So, just an update on the ongoing saga of the windscreens, so everybody knows what's going on. Thought I'd do a quick rundown of what happened. So, obviously, picked the car up, I think it was the 17th of April, driving back in convoy with a friend of mine who was bringing the other car that we went down in, and we were in traffic on the M5. Something on the other side obviously went past a bit quickly, flicked up a stone. I'm sitting there, all of a sudden there's a bang. I thought it was a bomb going off, it was so loud. But didn't notice anything straight away, so wasn't too worried at that point in time. Got back home, 20 miles up the road, whatever. Had a look and initially couldn't see anything, and suddenly noticed there was a chip. So disappointing, because obviously just picked up the car, it looks fantastic, and now it's got a bloody great chip in it about an inch across. So I know with windscreens you've got to be careful. A, you shouldn't have a chip in it anyway. Well, it wasn't in the line of sight, so I think I'd have got away with it on that basis. But obviously, if you put a shock through that windscreen, even a pressure washer apparently, you run the risk of it cracking the whole screen and causing damage. So check policy, yeah, covered for insurance, not a problem. And the only people I could think of in my mind was Autoglass. So got on the phone to Autoglass, or got on online, booked the appointment, fired over a copy of the policy document to show that I'm insured and who they need to be claiming from. And my understanding is that £100 excess, no problem. Next thing I get an email saying expect to pay 183 for something or other. Not really an explanation on it. So I think that's all right. The insurance gets sorted out, not a problem. So I leave it, and the appointment's booked. And anyway, a couple of days before the appointment, I'm sitting down and get a phone call from Autoglass. No, we can't work with it. I don't know who this Zurich is. Never heard of them. Oh, that's weird. Biggest insurance company in Europe probably, or one of them, owned by Allianz, which is one of them. But they haven't heard of them, Autoglass. Yet they're listed as one of the two that my insurance company Zurich use for, they're the direct payer ones, where you don't pay. Zurich actually settle the bill directly. They got a special deal. That's who they use, is Autoglass and National Windscreens. I just couldn't remember National Windscreens' name, so I booked Autoglass. So, okay, that's fine. So, well, sorry, but they are, no, we don't work with them, but you can pay cash. What? Well, you can pay cash, so I'll give you a quote for what the cash price is, and you can pay that tomorrow at the appointment. I said, no, don't work like that. I said, I'm covered by insurance. So if you won't work with my insurers, I'll just find someone who does. So cancel the appointment, that's it. That should have ended Autoglass's involvement as far as I'm concerned. This comes back later on because there's a problem someone needs to investigate with Autoglass. So, and I'm going to encourage the insurance company to do so. I then contacted my brokers, who are Marsh private clients, who've been really good all the way through. They look after everything, because all my cars, the house, is all under one insurance policy. Makes it easy. I don't argue over the price, but it's designed as supposedly a concierge service where they kind of look after you. They're not going to argue too much with you. They're going to deal with things for you, Zurich, and they come out and look at the house and make comments on what you can do to improve the risk and stuff. So I'm thinking it's okay. So broker finds out from Zurich, yeah, we do use Autoglass, but don't worry, you use National Windscreens. It's okay, brilliant. So I then contact National Windscreens. I spent half an hour on the phone with this guy, because I know that in between buying the car and now, I've changed the number plate, because I got a personalised plate on a retention certificate. I might as well stick it on there. So I explained to him obviously the original number plate, explained to him what happened, confirmed it happened. I was insured on the day to pick it up. Of course I was. It was just bloody stupid, but there we go. Because it's a brand new policy for a separate car. So it's all done. And I said, look, you need to be aware, I've now since changed the number plates. It now shows that I got a policy certificate with that number on it as well now. If you want anything, but mainly when I turn up at the dealership, at your dealership to do the work, I don't want some bright spark lighting that in the car, because obviously it's got a different plate on it. No, that'd be fine. Make notes. That'd be great. No problem. Just books it all in. No worries. So I'm assuming that yesterday, the 7th, I was going to get a number plate done, a windscreen done. End of last week, I'm having the cars cleaned, and one of the cars being cleaned is the Porsche, even though I'm not driving anything. I get a phone call from National Windscreens. This woman is completely confused. She'd never apparently come across anybody changing a number plate before, because she didn't understand how I'd done that. She thought that was a fix, that I'd done something wrong. So managed to get through to her, explain exactly what's happened. She said, well, Zurich are refusing to pay the insurance. I said, well, that ain't right, you have to go back to them because you've got something wrong. So I spent half an hour on the phone explaining, oh yeah, I understand now, I'll talk to them. You won't hear from me again. 5 minutes later, she phones again. Zurich still won't pay because they've agreed to pay someone else. You're covered elsewhere. She says, you don't need the work done, you've had it done. I said, what are you talking about? I haven't had it done, otherwise I wouldn't be on the phone to you. Why would I? Nobody takes a windscreen out and puts a new one in for the sake of it, Yeah, you've had it done elsewhere, it's been done by someone else, you can pay us cash. Again, you can pay us cash. All this push by the government, get rid of cash, and all of a sudden these companies are all dealing with cash now, corporate. If you went in there one day and said, can I buy that carrier bag off you, they probably ask you for a digital payment card. But they won't cash for a windscreen, which is £2 grand or something. I said, no, I'm not paying for it. The insurance company's got it wrong. If Zurich have received a claim from Autoglass, they need to investigate that, because Autoglass have clearly stated, A, they don't know who Zurich are, so where did they send the claim form if they don't know who they are? B, why did they fill the claim form out in the first place? They know full well they weren't sending the claim off Zurich because it don't work with them. C, knowing they've cancelled the appointment, I'm not happy for them to do it, and they were asking for cash for the job, why have they then sent in a claim form? They shouldn't have done. So please, sort it out, get them to pay you, get them to sort it out with you, and in the meantime, I want them to investigate, is there some sort of fiddle with Zurich, with Autoglass? Because that doesn't seem right. There's no good reason for this to happen. So she goes, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I then ring my broker and say, look, you need to get on top of this, because realistically, I'm not their secretary. I shouldn't be fielding these calls, dealing with all this shit. This is supposed to be a concierge service. Zurich VIP is a special product for, nice cars, etc. They're supposed to deal with all this for me. I'm supposed to get a seamless, this is the easiest claim in the world. Windscreen crack, turn up, take the old one out, new one in, Zurich pay. It should be the easiest claim you ever make in your life. God knows what happened if you actually had a pile up, you're dealing with several insurers who've all hit you, or you'd hit them. So it's not looking good. Anyway, but he assures me it's all going to be sorted out, and I don't hear anything on a Friday, so after the weekend thinking, okay, we got Tuesday back at work, and Wednesday I've got to take the car. I'm in the shower, the phone rings, leave a message, and it's National Windscreens. No, your insurance ain't going to pay. We're going to give you the cash price, and if you don't like that, if you don't get back to us by 2 o'clock, we're going to cancel your appointment. And you could actually hear the disgust in their voice as they're leaving this message. This was not customer services. This was just, I don't know. If you're going to have a row with someone in a pub over something, he's grabbed your wife's bum or something, this is the way they're speaking to me, as though I'm a piece of crap on their shoe, as though the money they're going to earn out of this windscreens means nothing, this business. They don't really want the business. They're just doing it because I've rang them and they're hoping I'm not going to come back. You could almost taste it. So I think, look, I know I get nasty. If I get angry, I get nasty. I pick fault in people. I'll have a go at them. If they start mentioning pronouns or something like that, I'm going to upset them. I'm going to say the wrong things. So, in fact, I just did it to someone who just rang me up out of the blue. And someone rang up and said, hello, is that Rachel? And I said, Does it sound like a Rachel to you? Oh, when it's 2025, it could be anybody. So don't talk such utter bollocks. Do I sound like a Rachel? Because if you phone someone called Rachel and they answer the phone and sound like me, then you need to be fucking reporting them to the Mental Illness Institute, because like they ain't a Rachel. I got a very deep voice. I'm not in the slightest bit high pitched. You couldn't confuse my voice for an effeminate voice. I know some people can be, you know, especially on the phone when you don't see people, but not in my situation. She then starts trying to tell me how it's offensive that I spoke to her like that. I told her it was offensive that she called me Rachel and she shoved it up her arse. It degraded like that, so I ended up putting the phone down before I really got myself in trouble. Probably have the old bill turn up for a hate crime speech thing or whatever. Anyway, back to the thing. So, decided I'm not going to mention the windscreens. I phoned my broker and said, look, you better sort this out, because the way they just spoke to me, I ain't having it. So, sort it out. I don't even know if I've got to turn up tomorrow now for my meeting, but we need to know what's going on. So, he's working on it apparently, and if you don't hear from me by 2 o'clock, it's all sorted. But anyway, by 4 o'clock, I heard nothing. So I'm in the middle of writing an email to him. Phone call from Nationwide. At Nationwide Windscreens, this is not the building society, the windscreen people. And again, I got this really offensive woman. One of the first things she says is about how the calls were recorded. She then asks me about 50 data protection questions. She gets herself all uptight and confused about number plates again, even though, you know, I did spend half an hour on the phone with her before explaining it. She can't grasp it. She don't understand what a number plate is, I don't think. Maybe she doesn't drive, I don't know. But I don't remember the old number plate that was on the car, so I never offer it. She names one. It sounded right to me. It sort of rang a bell. So, yeah, that sounds right. Then she accused me of telling her something different. I said, well, no, I didn't, because like it is a recorded call. You can check. Oh, I'm not having this. She's got all an RC. She's really horrible. Her attitude stunk from the time she picked the phone up. I ended up having a row with the supervisor as well, and I ended up saying to her, look, I don't want to hear from you again. You've got a job to do. Go away, sort the number plate out, sort the windscreen out. Just let me know when it's going to be in, and I'll make arrangements to come in at my convenience and get it done. So I'm getting fed up, and I don't want to have a row with people. I don't want to upset people. Not really. I'm a nice person, really. Honestly. But they proceed to phone me again, 5:15. Now they've got a problem because they don't know which windscreen version it is, because apparently Porsche changed their model partly for a year or something. They don't know which one it is. I said, well, I don't bloody know. But that's your job. If I ring a plumber to fix my taps, he doesn't ask me my opinion of which tap washer to use, does he? I mean, I bought a set of taps. That's up to you to find out. That's your specialism. That's what you do. You're National Windscreens. You should know. Especially from the chassis number, which you'll get from either number plate. So, again, I put them off, tell the broker. Anyway, Zurich have now agreed that Porsche will do the job, which is what I suggested in the first place now. Porsche going to do the job, so I booked it in with Porsche at Bristol, Dick Lovett's. I haven't dealt with Dick Lovett since I had a little bit of a falling out with Peter Lovett back in 2004. It was launched as a 430 over the BMW 7 Series, the Bangle one. Remember the ugly thing they couldn't sell? And he was trying to offer them for 150 quid a month just to get him his forecourt. That was funny. Anyway, so I booked it in. They're going to do the job. And I said to my brother, I said, look, I'm going to need compensation because I've got a car now. The car's not booked in till 19th or 20th of May. I'll have had it a month and can't drive it. Why would I be paying for a car I can't drive? A, the insurance, B, the car tax, and actually the monthly payment on the car. Well, you know, I had the use of it. It's useless to me. It's just sat out there. It's a paperweight. So hopefully, try and get some compensation out of this lot. But the main thing I think to take away from this is everyone's concentrating on no cash. All of a sudden, both firms have asked for cash instead of insurance claim. Now it worries me for one reason. Think about being in the industry. A windscreen claim is pretty straightforward. And I would imagine that there's not many checks done on windscreen claims. You know, if a windscreen company writes to Zurich and says, or any insurers and says, we just changed our windscreen on this Ford Fiesta or Vauxhall Zafira or whatever it might be, it's 400 quid. They look on the list, yeah, that's roughly right, bang, they pay it. I can't imagine it, let's just check it was a Zafira, let's make sure of this, let's make sure of that, make sure it was done even, right? So I would have thought it's a pretty immediate payout by the insurance company. So there is an angle that maybe just the way my mind works is that if you're this lot, you deal with so many claims, you're putting in 20, 30, 40 claims a day, maybe more, I don't know. But it's a lot of claims. What's to stop them? Autoglass seem to have demonstrated that despite not doing the job, they offered to do it for me for cash. So let's say I took them up on it. I thought, okay, they've told me the insurance company won't pay. Okay, well, they're the experts, so obviously they won't pay. So I didn't pay them, because I still got to have it done, because the old bill are going to have me off the road, aren't they? I pay them cash, they've been paid for the job. Then they put the claim in anyway. You're going to come to me and say, we're paying, did you know? Because to them it's just a normal windscreen claim. There's very little check done on it. It's just a normal thing, run of the mill every day to get thousands of them. Pay it. They now pay Autoglass. Autoglass been paid twice. Now, technically speaking, you'd imagine they might refund me. What if their process wasn't to refund me? What if along the line, especially being a cash payment, maybe it's not recorded? Who knows? I might get a receipt. That means from the receipt book that it's official, does it? Plenty of people offer receipts that don't exist, don't matter. Revenue will tell you that. So what if they then got two lots of the money and they think, yeah, we'll keep that, that's all right. In the case of a Fiesta, it's a few £100 maybe. In the case of a Porsche, it might be thousands. In the case of a Ferrari, it could be thousands. So across the board, they keep a few of these. And I say 1 in 10 people, instead of just trusting the expert that's told you the insurance won't cover you, I'm just going to check with Zurich. And they phone up, Zurich, did you pay that claim? Would you have paid me? Oh, well, we did. What? They made me pay as well. Oh shit, I better take that up with them. Customer then is going to go back and say, did you get paid by Zurich? Oh, sorry mate. Yeah, I made a mistake there, didn't we? Oh yeah. Should have refunded you. Here's extra 20 quid. Go buy your missus something nice. Get some flowers. No big complaint. Client's got his money back. No one's any the wiser. Nobody's going to look into it because again, it's thousands of claims a year in windscreens. Why would anybody pick up on the odd one that seemed to go a bit awry? It's going to cost them more to investigate it in most cases. But maybe only 1 in 10 is getting refunded. That's a big income stream. If it's happening. And I don't know if it's happening or not. But I'm rather cautious when it comes to big companies and what they can do, what they can't do. I would be concerned, if I was an insurance company, I would be concerned to check into this. If nothing else, but to prove that I'm a dickhead. I got it wrong. You know, oh, Steve Odgie's a twat, he said this, and what a wanker. Great, brilliant. I'd rather be a wanker, proved that someone checked it, looked it up. Because what if no one's noticed it before? And it just happens it because I'm in the business, I do notice it. It's the sort of thing I do pick up on. I don't know. It just seems strange to me that I've had this fuss. But like I say, the main thing is your windscreen should be fixed by Porsche. I mean, love it. Yeah, I've had my run-ins with them in the past, but let's let bygones be bygones. Start afresh. You can go wrong with fitting a windscreen, can't you? Let's face it. But it's on them, innit? For me, I'll always end up with a car with a windscreen. So what does it matter if they get it wrong? They could break 3 or 4, so I care. Not going to affect me. But we'll see. But I'll keep you updated if I hear anything from Zurich. And if I hear anything on the investigation, see if there is any large scale problem. Because it's that use of the word cash in this day and age that worries me, because everybody goes on about cash now. You go to a restaurant, oh, we don't take cash, we don't do this, we don't do that. Because the government's trying to force it all through for digital ID and all this sort of crap to keep an eye on what you spend your money on, so they can ideally switch it off. And they can tell which ones of us are being naughty with buying guns or petrol or too much electric or steaks, you know, instead of insect meals. Maybe this is, you know, so they use the word cash for a business like that, a big business dealing large sums of money. You wouldn't think they want cash. You think they want credit card, debit card, trackable, straight in their account, no messing, no having to sort of check, make sure there's watermarks and all the rest of it. Very strange. I mean, it could just be the use of the word, but who knows? Best to be checked out though, don't you think? Well, that's Lucky Speaks. Hopefully, at some point, I'm going to do some good some good content that people want to subscribe to. I'm loose tooth at the moment because nurses haven't been in yet, so I can't do much until they've been. But yeah, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe and like it and comment and tell me where I'm going wrong and where I'm going right if possible. Tell me off for having to go to the program brigade. I'm sure some people do want to have a go at me about that. I don't give a shit though. Couldn't care less. I'm a great believer in personal opinion and free speech, and I'm allowed to live my life how I want to. I don't have to conform to words that you want me to use. Simple as that, you know. So these pronoun people, they want to be called what they want. It's fine. It's up to them, isn't it? Don't mean I've got to do it. Stuff them. Okay. On that final word, speak to you again.